Virgo, this is your week of precision, proof, and quiet power. You are the careful gardener of the zodiac. You notice what others miss. You fix what others leave broken. From 22nd September to 30 September 2025, life hands you a week that is made for your eyes, your mind, and your hands. It is like stepping into a workshop where every tool you need is on the bench. The lamp is bright, and the blueprint finally makes sense. There is hard work here. Yes, there are tests. There are a few foggy corners and a few sharp nails. But the overall picture is kind. You are set up to edit the story of your life, to polish the details, and to sign your name on work you are proud of. Think of it like cleaning a lens. Each day you wipe away a bit more dust until the image is sharp. By the evening of 30 September, clarity returns in full color. This message walks you through the entire window. It is spoken in simple language, so you can listen like you would listen to a trusted mentor. We will talk about the planets and what they are doing. We will connect those motions to daily life so you know what to do, what to avoid, and what matters most. You will hear about love, money, work, health, learning, travel, and the deeper meaning of the week. You will need only your common sense and your natural love for practical steps. Imagine the sky as a city. Each planet is a person with a job, a mood, and a place to be. Where they stand tells us which street in your life is busy and which street is quiet. Because this section is the roadmap, we will include the special star mansions, the nakshatras, and the specific part each planet is walking through. Think of a nakshatra like a neighborhood with its own style and rules. Each neighborhood also has 4 parts, like 4 blocks, and each block adds a flavor. Sun is in Virgo, moving from Uttara Phalguni to Hasta. The sun is your inner lamp. In this window, the sun stays in Virgo, which is your first house. This is the house of body, identity, and the way you present yourself. The sun starts the week in the neighborhood of Uttara Phalguni in its 3rd and 4th part. This place is about promises, contracts, and stable roots. It says, stand straight, keep your word, make things official. Toward 27 September, the sun moves into Hasta in the 1st and 2nd part. Hasta is the hand. It loves craft, design, and skill. It says, use your hands, fix it, shape it. Both neighborhoods suit Virgo. Together they say this week is about owning your role and doing your work with visible care. The sun in Virgo looks at Saturn and Neptune facing it from Pisces. They look back. It is a mirror. Your sense of self meets the demands and confusion of the outside world. The message is simple. Be warm, be clear, and write things down. Moon moves from Virgo to Sagittarius with a deep dip in Scorpio. The moon is your daily mood and the health of your habits. It starts near the end of Uttara Phalguni and moves through Hasta, then into Libra, then into Scorpio where it feels weak, and later into Sagittarius. In Libra, your 2nd house, the moon gives a soft focus on voice and money. In Scorpio, your 3rd house, the moon goes through a low tide. This is the place where emotion gets intense and old feelings surface. In Sagittarius, your 4th house, the moon brightens and lifts again. On 29 September, it crosses a tight doorway between signs, a Gandanta, which is like sailing from a narrow river into the open sea. This passage moves the mind from old fear to new meaning. On 29 and 30, the moon looks across to Jupiter. They see each other clearly. That is a sweet, stabilizing link for home matters and public presentations. Mercury is in Virgo, its own sign. It's strong but hidden until 30th September evening. Mercury is your guide. It rules how you think and talk. It is in Virgo all week, and it is in its own terrain. This is very strong. Through most of the week, it is hidden in the glow of the sun, which astrologers call combust. Think of it like a bright torch next to a candle. The candle is still there, but hard to see. This tells you to slow the send button. Not to doubt your intelligence. Mercury spends time in Hasta parts 2 and 3. This is the careful editor and the skilled maker. Then, late on the 28th September, it steps into Chitra part 1. Chitra is the architect. It draws plans and loves order and beauty. On the 30th September in the evening, Mercury comes out from the glare and becomes fully visible again. That is the moment the emails, contracts, and speeches land perfectly. Venus is conjunct with Ketu in Leo. Venus transits Purva Falguni, parts 1 and 2. Venus is pleasure, love, design, and how we spend on comfort. In this window, Venus stays in Leo, which for you is the 12th house. The 12th house is sleep, retreat, and quiet spaces. Venus meets Ketu, the south node, there. Ketu is the spiritual filter. It takes away noise and shows what is real. The neighborhood is Purva Falguni, and Venus moves through its first and second part. This is the lawn chair under a tree. It is art, rest, and gentle celebration. In the 12th house with Ketu, it turns you towards simple joys and meaningful spending. It says, choose quiet luxury over loud luxury. There is a long-distance look from Rahu in Aquarius to Venus and Ketu. This is a two-way look. It pushes you to make beauty useful and to make rest productive. Mars is in Libra and transits Swati, parts 1 and 2. Mars is drive, courage, and how you use strength. In this week, Mars stays in Libra, your second house of voice and money. The neighborhood is Swati, ruled by the wind. Swati loves independence and self-direction. In part 1 and 2, Mars wants to speak, price, and negotiate. Mars also throws a special look to your 5th house, where Pluto sits, and another special look to your 9th house, where Uranus sits. Pluto looks back. Uranus looks back. This means your words and your prices are tested for truth and pushed toward new methods. It is strong, useful pressure. Use scripts, leave room to adjust. Jupiter is in Gemini and transits Punarvasu, part 3. Jupiter is growth, protection, and faith. It sits in Gemini all week, which is your 10th house of career and reputation. The neighborhood is Punarvasu, part 3. Punarvasu is the returning of the light and the building of a safe home after a storm. In the 3rd part, Jupiter's blessings come through thought, structure, and clear communication. Jupiter does not feel at home in Mercury's sign, so it relies on facts to carry its hope. It sends a helpful look to your 2nd house, where Mars stands, and another to your 6th house, where Rahu stands. It also looks across to your 4th house and meets the moon there on the 29th and the 30th. These links say, teach what you know, show how it works, use your work to heal home matters. Saturn is retrograde in Pisces and transits Uttara Bhadrapada part 1. Saturn is duty, time, and boundaries. It stands in Pisces all week, your 7th house of one-to-one relations. Saturn seems to move backward now. That is a review period. The neighborhood is Uttara Bhadrapada part 1. This is the deep-sea cave where wisdom is quiet and strong. Saturn faces the Sun and Mercury. They face it back. That's the loud theme of the week. Who are you? What do you promise? What do others promise you? Saturn also gives a steady look to your 4th house of home and a teaching look to your 9th house of belief. It asks for patience and solid agreements. Rahu is in Aquarius and transits Purva Bhadrapada parts 1 and 2. Rahu, the north node, is appetite, progress, and the strange new path. It is in Aquarius in your 6th house of work, health, and problem solving. This is a great place for Rahu. It feeds your urge to fix systems and beat old limits. Rahu looks across to the 12th house where Venus and Ketu are. This two-way link joins service with rest and analysis with art. Ketu is in Leo and transits Purva Falguni parts 3 and 4. Ketu is release and wisdom through less. In Leo with Venus, It cleans the palate. It reminds you that the best sleep and the best art come from honest simplicity. Uranus is in Taurus and transits Kritika Part 4. Uranus is change, invention, and the lightning of ideas. It sits in Taurus in your 9th house of meaning, mentors, and long journeys. It looks to your 2nd house and your 5th house with strong attention. It pushes you to speak in new ways and to teach in fresh formats. Neptune is retrograde in Pisces while transiting Uttara Bhadrapada Part 1. Neptune is compassion and imagination, but also fog. In Pisces, in the 7th house, it makes some partners dreamy, kind, and sometimes unclear. Neptune faces your Sun and Mercury. That means kindness is high, but confusion is possible until things are written plainly. Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn and transits Uttara Ashadha Part 4. Pluto is deep truth and power through honesty. It is in Capricorn in your 5th house of creativity, joy, and children. It looks strongly at Mars in your 2nd house and back again. This says, let your voice carry truth, not performance. It also looks to your 8th house, which asks for clean records in taxes, shared money, and private matters. All these pieces form the picture for Virgo. You are asked to be the editor, the craftsperson, the teacher, the honest partner, and the gentle guardian of rest. If you could draw this week as a simple image, it would be a clean desk by a window. Morning light lands on a notepad. A cup of tea steams beside a pen. Outside the window, the city is busy, but the room is calm. The work before you is important and possible. The theme is clarity through care. You have strong support in the 1st house because the Sun and Mercury are there. This gives you a direct way to shape your identity, your daily choices, and the way you speak. You are not in the mood to brag. You are in the mood to be accurate. That is the perfect mood. Across from you stands Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. They are like a firm teacher and a soft poet sitting together. One asks for rules, the other asks for kindness. Their look at you says, explain yourself in kind detail. If you do that, you will be loved for your usefulness. Your career field is lit by Jupiter in Gemini. This is a bright lamp, but it needs a good stand. The stand is your data, your method, and your steady teaching voice. The more you share clear examples, the more people trust you. The moon will help you finish a story by the end of the window. On 29 and 30 September, the moon stands in your home zone and looks across to Jupiter in your public zone. That is like your inner voice and your public voice speaking the same sentence. Use that final moment for announcements or a message you want people to hear. Money and speech are under sharp attention because Mars is in Libra in your 2nd house. Mars is energy. In the 2nd house, it pushes you to set a price, speak up, and draw lines. Because Mars is under increased pressure from Pluto and Uranus, your words carry power. They can fix old money patterns. They can also cut if used without care. Use scripts. Choose honesty. Keep removable parts in agreements so you can adjust later if needed. Rest and pleasure ask for a gentle, simple style because Venus and Ketu sit in Leo in the 12th house. This is the yoga mat, the sketchbook, the book by the bed. It is time to buy the tool that makes the craft better, not the flashy thing that does nothing. It is time to go to bed 5 minutes earlier, say a thank you, and listen to your breath. There is a two-way look between this quiet place and your work problem-solving house where Rahu stands. That means rest and service feed each other. When you rest smart, work gets easier. When you design a smart process, you earn more rest. The heaviest lessons this week come through the 7th house, the zone of partners, clients, and the public. Saturn and Neptune there test promises. They show you where you need a boundary and where you need compassion. The correct answer is not hard and cold. The correct answer is kind and specific. It is like a recipe that anyone can follow. If in doubt, write it down. If you write it, you can trust it. The week has a slow drumbeat that grows louder. Early days are for drafts, edits, and inside work. The middle shows you what to stop doing. The end brings a clean window. By the evening of 30th September, when Mercury comes out of the sun's glare, you can sign, send, announce, and commit with confidence. In numerology, that Tuesday carries the mind of Mars and the mission of the teacher. The words you release then travel far. Your inner weather follows the moon. It begins near your own sign. Then it moves through money and speech, dips into an emotional cave, and rises into the home and heart. The low cave is when the moon travels through Scorpio, your third house. Feelings may be strong there. Old triggers can pop up. Treat them like waves that come and go. Do not fight the sea. Breathe and watch. On the other side of that cave, you step into a wide field of meaning. Because the moon moves into Sagittarius, your fourth house of inner truth. That shift is sharp around 29 September at dawn, when the moon crosses a tight doorway. After you walk through, air feels fresh. Your best mindset is the classic Virgo mindset, but with a gentle twist. Be precise, but do not be harsh. Be helpful, but do not carry every bag. Imagine you are tuning a guitar. Each string needs you to turn the peg a little. Too much and it snaps. Too little and the song is flat. Aim for the clear tone between. How do you do that in practice? Use these pictures. Think like a lighthouse keeper. Clean the glass. Keep the flame even. Make notes in the logbook. You are not responsible for steering every ship. You are responsible for the light and the truth of your notes. Act like a good editor. Praise the sentence that works. Fix the one that does not. Remove the extra words. Ask the writer what they really meant. Your own mind is the writer and the editor. Let them work together. Breathe like a swimmer. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Count 4 in, count 6 out. Do 3 rounds when you feel the urge to react. This turns Mars in your voice house into a sword you control. Trust the body. The first house is very active. When the body says drink water, drink water. When the body says step outside, step outside. When the body says write it down, write it down. One more thought on mindset. Saturn and Neptune in your 7th house can make you question your worth in the eyes of others. Remember this. You are most loved when you show your craft with kindness. You do not need to be perfect. You need to be honest and steady. People do not want your armor. They want your clear eyes. This is where the week shines. Imagine your 10th house, the place of career, as a stage with a lectern, a whiteboard, and a small audience who want to learn. Jupiter stands there, holding a marker. Jupiter is not in a place it loves because it is visiting Mercury's school, but it is still Jupiter. It wants to teach and to give. What does that mean for you? It means your work is lifted when you share wisdom in a simple, organized way. Case studies, before and after, step by step. People will reward clarity. Because Mercury, your guide, is in your 1st house for the whole window, you are the face and the voice of the message. You feel like a presenter and a craftsperson at the same time. In the early part of the week, Mercury is hidden in the sun's light, so hold back on big launches or heavy contracts. Use the time to refine. Choose strong words. Edit the slides. Build a 1-page handout that captures your point. Then, when Mercury steps out of the light on the evening of 30th September, stand up and deliver. It is like the moment a picture finishes loading on a slow internet screen. Everything snaps into focus. Use that moment for sign-offs, offer letters, press releases, proposals, and important emails. The seventh house of working with others is heavy and holy. Saturn and Neptune sit there. Saturn is review. Neptune is compassion and sometimes confusion. Together, they ask you to shape agreements like good fences. Clear boundaries show respect. Right scope, right timelines, right acceptance criteria. Ask the other side to repeat in their own words what they understood. Approach this like a nurse reading instructions to a patient. Calm, exact, kind. This also protects you against the fog that Neptune can bring. Mars in your second house gives your voice a sharp edge. This is useful for negotiation. It helps you ask for the price that reflects your work. But it can cut. Mars looks at Pluto in your fifth house, and they look back. Pluto is deep truth. This push-pull tests your speech for honesty. If you say what is true, the edge cuts through noise. If you say what is not true, the edge cuts your own fingers. Keep a script. Scripts are not fake. Scripts are containers for strong energy. Uranus in your ninth house sends a constant current into your career. It says, try new formats, use fresh tools, surprise with a smarter process. It looks into your second house, so it will nudge you to offer unusual pricing structures or new payment paths. Test one small version first. Keep parts you can remove. This keeps risk low and lets you show courage without gambling your position. Jupiter in the 10th house also looks kindly at Rahu in your 6th house. This is service, operations, and two big words: process wins. A clean checklist beats a heroic scramble. Teach your team to use the list. Ask a colleague to run through it and try to break it. Improve weak points. If you work alone, make the list for yourself. This is the time to turn your method into something repeatable. It will make your day calmer and your reputation stronger. The moon's path gives you the best moments to tell your story. When the moon stands in your 4th house near the end of the window, it looks across to Jupiter in your 10th. That is home voice meeting public voice. Prepare earlier and use the final evening to present. If you manage others, use that window for a team message, a policy, or a heart-to-heart that needs both warmth and authority. A small note on numerology for your work. Tuesday is the day of Mars, the worker and the one who takes action. On Tuesday the 30th, the mind of the day is action, and the guardian of the day is also Mercury, because Mercury stands strong in Virgo. Mars and Mercury are not best friends, but they can work well when the plan is clear. That means a checklist for the day and a clean handover at the end of the day. If you run meetings, start with the result in one line, then do bullets, then assign owners, then time box. This is the Mars-Mercury handshake. Money is the story of your 2nd house, your 6th house, your 10th house, and your 11th house. In this week, the 2nd and the 6th ring the loudest. Mars in your 2nd house points to voice, value, pricing, and savings. Rahu in your 6th house points to systems, debts, problem-solving, and small daily gains that add up. Jupiter in your 10th adds a bigger view of income that comes from public work. The moon touches the 11th house when it passes through Cancer later in the cycle, but in this window, the 11th is quiet. That is fine. You do not need loud group gains. You need smart personal moves. Because Mars stands in your 2nd house in Libra, you have courage to ask for your rate. Think of the 2nd house as your toolbox and your wallet. With Mars there, you feel like a contractor who knows exactly what a job will take. You look at the task. You see the time, the labor, the materials, the follow-up. You hand over a quote without apology. This is good for you now. Do not undercut yourself to be liked. At the same time, watch the tone. Mars can sound sharp. Use scripts. For example, for the scope you described, the fee is X. That includes A, B, and C. It does not include D and E. We can add those if needed. If the other side pushes, try. I want you to get the best value. We can change the scope to fit your budget, or we can keep the scope and the price as is. Which works for you? Pluto in your 5th house looks at Mars and tests your words for truth. If you use the truth, your price stands. If you overpromise, Pluto will expose it. Keep numbers clean. Do not hide terms. Honesty is not only good, it is safe. Uranus in your 9th house looks back at Mars too. Uranus brings invention. It could ask you to try a different way to charge or to introduce a new service format. For example, you might offer a 2-week pilot at a smaller fee, with clear goals and a review at the end. This allows a new client to test you without locking into a long contract. You keep control because you wrote the goals. You also keep flexibility because you wrote the review date. Jupiter in the 10th house smiles at your money if it comes from teaching, writing, sharing knowledge, or leading a responsible project. Jupiter is in Mercury's sign, so it prefers that you show work. People pay you when they can see your method. Record a little demo. Share a one-pager that shows your steps. Use a case study. This is especially strong on 29 and 30, when the moon aligns with Jupiter. Rahu in your 6th house loves to see you clear small debts, clean subscriptions, and simplify monthly costs. The link to Venus and Ketu in the 12th house adds a sweet flavor. You can reduce expenses in a way that feels good. Switch to tools you actually use. Cancel shiny but useless apps. Replace loud leisure spending with simple, nourishing rest. You will be surprised how much energy returns when you spend money like a craftsman, not like a shopper. A gentle warning. When the moon moves through Scorpio in your 3rd house, emotions can nudge you to buy, order, or speak in a way you later do not like. Pause. Do not make money moves when you are tired or hungry. This small rule will save you much. If you are an investor, this is not a window for wild plays. Pluto and Uranus both pressure your voice and value house. These planets reward long-term, serious moves, not heat-of-the-moment trades. Use the week to reset risk rules, not to break them. Consider a simple example. If you manage a small portfolio, write a 1-page policy that says how much % you keep in safe stores, how much in growth, and how much in experiments. Tape it to your desk. When the mind runs hot, the policy will cool it. This field has the deepest lessons now. The 7th house is your one-to-one world. Partners, clients, close friends, key people. Saturn and Neptune sit there in Pisces. Saturn is the builder who checks codes and permits. Neptune is the painter who loves colors and dreams. When these two share a table, you must make agreements that protect the beauty. The best way to do this is to combine kindness with precision. Say what you mean, write what you say. Keep the tone warm. Keep the terms sharp. Because the Sun and Mercury sit in Virgo in your 1st house, you are visible and strong. The face-to-face with Saturn and Neptune says you will be asked to show who you are and what you want. If a partner, client, or important person drifts into vague talk, gently guide them to specifics. Ask, what is the outcome you want in 1 sentence? Ask, what does done look like on your side? Ask, which date should we check progress? Neptune will relax. Saturn will nod. Both will help you. If you are in a romantic bond, remember that Neptune can also cast a glamour. It can make a person look like a dream and hide the fine print. You are wiser than that. Keep your eyes open. Believe words that are backed by actions. Keep time. A person who shows up on time for the hard things is worth your heart. A person who only brings poetry is nice, but not for heavy lifting. This does not mean you must be cold. You can be soft and clear at once. Think of warm tea poured into a cup with a handle. The tea comforts. The handle keeps your hand safe. Venus and Ketu in your 12th house shape the way you love behind the scenes. You may feel like you want quiet time with someone rather than loud dates. You may want to cook together, make art together, or rest together. This is healthy. It reminds you that love grows in silence as much as in talk. It also reminds you to keep some inner life just for yourself. A secret joy with no performance is medicine. Mars in your 2nd house can make your speech sharp with those you love. Use it to defend a healthy boundary. Do not use it to win a small fight. If anger rises, breathe. Ask for a pause. Say, "I need a minute to speak kindly." Come back with scripts. Scripts keep love safe. For example, I felt hurt when X happened. I need Y to feel safe. Can we do Y for the next 7 days and then talk again? Clear, kind, practical. Family ties and chosen family also fall under the 2nd and 4th houses. The moon's move into Sagittarius in your 4th house toward the end of the window brings a good time to talk about home, care, and what the family needs in the next month. Because Jupiter is looking across from the 10th house, your public position and your private needs can match better than usual. Plan schedules, share chores, decide on a small home improvement that helps everyone. Friend groups are quieter in this window. That is fine. You are not missing a party. You are building a safer base. At the same time, if a friend is struggling, Neptune in your 7th can open your heart. Help with a simple action rather than a long speech. Bring a meal. Drive them to an appointment. Sit with them. Kindness is clear when it is simple. Your 1st house is active, so the body speaks more loudly. Listen. The sun in Virgo pushes you to take care of skin, digestion, and small daily habits. Mercury adds a mental edge that can tip into worry if you do not ground it. The best health plan now is basic and real. Start with sleep. Venus and Ketu in your 12th house want clean rest. Make the bed your temple. Remove screens 30 minutes before bed. Lower light. Breathe. Play soft audio. Use the count 4 in, count 6 out. Breath to calm the mind. If you wake at night with thoughts, write one line on paper and tell the mind you will solve it tomorrow. Watch digestion. Warm, simple food helps. Keep a gentle routine. Your sign loves to help others and can forget to eat. Do not do that. Carry almond or fruit. Drink water. When Mars heats the 2nd house, spicy words and spicy food both can burn. Choose steady meals. Mind the neck and shoulders. Computer work can be heavy when Mercury is strong. Use a timer. Every 50 minutes, stand up, move shoulders, roll the neck, look far away for 20 seconds. When the moon dips into Scorpio in your 3rd house, energy can drop. That is a good day for a slow walk, gentle stretches, and quiet chores. Avoid heavy workouts then. After the moon reaches Sagittarius, energy returns. If you love hiking, a short hike or a long walk around your neighborhood is ideal near the end of the window. It helps move feelings out of the body. Mental health also matters. Saturn and Neptune in your 7th can make you feel responsible for other people's emotions. You are not. You can care without carrying. A simple boundary sentence helps. I love you and I trust you to handle this step. I am here for the next step if you need me. That keeps your heart open and your back safe. If you work in a caring job, protect yourself with routines. Wash hands with attention. Say a quiet prayer or intention when you move between people. This closes one field and opens the next. It is light spiritual hygiene. Finally, watch perfectionism. Mercury in Virgo wants to fix and improve. That is your gift. But when it crosses into self-criticism, the body gets tense. Keep a small done list. At the end of each day, write 3 things you did well. That trains the mind to see progress. You fall asleep kinder to yourself. That is healing. Movement lines are mixed. Uranus in your 9th house pushes for new paths, new classes, new mentors, and sometimes travel. The moon's passage into Sagittarius at the end of the window favors short trips for home or family reasons, or visits to places that bring peace. The 7th house load asks for clean tickets, careful reading of terms, and travel partners who respect time and budgets. If you must travel for work, use the last night of the window to lock plans. Mercury becomes fully visible then, and clarity follows. If you travel earlier, keep copies of all documents in 2 places. Keep a simple emergency kit. Keep an extra charger. These are small moves, but they save you from Neptune's fog. Around the moment the moon crosses the tight doorway from Scorpio to Sagittarius, people often feel emotional or drained. That shift happens on 29th September before dawn. If you can, avoid very early departure at that time. If you must, add extra buffers and keep snacks and water close. Commute rhythms, even if you do not travel far, also matter. Your body may want a different route or a new routine. Try a podcast that teaches something. Try a quiet walk before you open the laptop. These are little trips that move the mind to better places. This domain is rich. Pluto in your 5th house gives depth to your creative voice. It asks for honesty, not decoration. It fits wonderfully with the Sun in Hasta and Mercury in Chitra. Hasta gives skilled hands. Chitra gives design and plans. Together with Pluto, they say, make one thing real and true. Make it well. If you write, this is the week to edit a key piece, cut fluff, and release a paragraph or a page that says something honest. If you paint or craft, choose one work and give it the time it deserves. If you parent, the 5th house also rules children. Pluto asks for truthful, calm talks. A child or young person may open up about something important. Listen without panic. Your steady face is the medicine. Jupiter in your 10th house smiles when you teach what you are learning. Record a small lesson. Share a short guide. Offer to mentor a junior colleague. You remember things better when you teach them. You also shape your public image as someone who gives. Rahu in your 6th house loves process improvement. Learning now can be very practical. Read a short book on a skill that saves time. Watch a tutorial and try it. Choose one tool and master it. This is not the time to collect 10 courses and finish none. It is the time to finish one in full. Make notes. Summarize for yourself. Share with your team. That closes the learning loop. Creativity enjoys the quiet of Venus and Ketu in your 12th house. Art grows in silence. Set a small ritual. 10 minutes of drawing before sleep. 15 minutes of guitar after lunch. 2 pages of free writing in the morning. Keep it small and repeatable. The joy you feel there leaks into all parts of life and lifts your mood. Every week has a lesson. This week's lesson for Virgo is simple and deep. It is the karma of honest craft. You are asked to stand as yourself without armor, to do your work with a calm hand, and to write your agreements with love and care. You are asked to carry less fear about being seen. The sun is in your 1st house. It wants you to glow from inside, not as a performer, as a person who knows the value of steady effort. The tests come where Saturn and Neptune sit in your 7th house. The world asks, can I trust you? The world also asks, do you trust me? The healthy answer is built slowly, with boundaries and kindness. You will face situations where people do not know what they want. You will face situations where people want too much. Your karma now is to anchor the boat and to draw a map. If a person cannot sail by the map, let them drift away without malice. If they can, welcome them on board. This week is not about heroic rescue. It is about mature friendship. Another part of the karma is the relationship with voice and value. Mars in your second house can bring old patterns of staying quiet to keep the peace, or speaking hot to push back. Both are from fear. Pluto asks you to speak from truth, not fear. That may mean telling a client that the price has to be fair for the work. That may mean telling a loved one, I feel hurt, but I want to fix this with you. You become stronger when voice and heart line up. The moon's deep dip into Scorpio shows the karma of facing inner feelings. Some of those feelings are not new. They may come from long ago. You do not have to explain them all. You only have to let them pass. Suffering often grows when we hold on to a wave and call it a mountain. This week teaches you to watch the wave roll in and roll out. That is freedom. There is also the karma of rest and simple joy. Venus with Ketu in the 12th house asks you to let go of showy pleasures. Choose the joy that actually heals. A walk at sunset, fresh sheets, a notebook and pen, a slow cup of tea with someone who cares about your day. This is how your system resets. This is how you make space for better work and kinder love. Finally, there is the karma of timing. In the Panchang, the moon moves through the bright half of its month. It gains light. Your actions gain power as the light builds. Mercury's return to full visibility on the evening of 30 September is a signpost. Your voice returns to full strength. That is the moment to step forward. Until then, get ready. After that, move. Virgo, you are at your best when you make life better for others and for yourself through small, precise acts. This window is built for that. Here's a gentle, practical way to live it. Start each morning with a check-in. Ask, what is one useful thing I can finish today? Write it, do it. Keep the task small enough that you can start without fear. Complete it before noon if possible. Let that success feed the rest of the day. Before any important talk, write a short outline. 1 sentence for the result. 3 points under it. 1 question for the other person. Read it once, then speak. Your words will cut clean and kind. If a decision worries you, delay until the evening of 30th September if you can. If you cannot, bring one person you trust to check your logic. This keeps Neptune's fog away and gives Saturn a partner in review. Make money choices from calm, not from pressure. Ask, does this cost make my work or life truly better? If yes, keep it. If no, cancel it. That is Venus and Ketu's simple rule. Care for the body in the small ways that add up. Water, warm food, gentle movement, sleep routine. These are not glamorous, but they are real magic. Honor sadness if it rises when the moon visits Scorpio. Sit with it, breathe, and write a line in a journal. I feel X because of Y. It will pass. Then do a small task and let the body taste completion. Choose creative truth over creative polish. Make one piece that is honest. Share one idea that is useful. Put your name on it. People are ready to receive your voice. When you feel pulled to carry the world, put your hand on your own heart. Say, I am responsible for the clarity of my light, not for steering every ship. Then do the next right thing. Remember the best sentence you can use in agreements. Let me write this and send it to you. That sentence saves you every time. And keep the final image. A clean desk by a bright window. The lamp is on. The tools are ready. The plan is simple. You are calm. You are kind. You are skilled. The world needs what your careful hands create and what your exact words explain. Step into the week with that quiet pride. End the week with your name on work that feels true. The sky this week does not ask you to be louder. It asks you to be clearer. It does not ask you to run faster. It asks you to move with purpose. It does not ask you to carry everything. It asks you to carry what is yours and to carry it well. That is your power. That is your peace.